All right, next game, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the house hosting the Atlanta Falcons in division. So this is a NFC South game. Showdown / shootout. The spread is 100% disrespectful as the Buccaneers are 12.5 point favorites.
Man.
And then you look at this, but this thing that shocks me is the over-under is only at 52. Now, I'm guessing it's that low is because Matt Ryan's not playing in the dome, so that kind of throws off a lot of what you would expect numbers-wise to get him going.
One of my weather games, 60% chance of rain right now.
Yeah, it's back-to-back weather games. Now, think about it, because Seattle was 80-ish. This one's 60-ish. So this is something to think about as far as the run game goes. Mainly because there's a chance that the weather could hinder some of the passing. Now,
and it's a 3 p.m. game. Yes, 3 p.m. game.
Yep.
So, got some chance for some late swap, but it's a late game. It's not a 12 o'clock game to Central Time.
Correct. Yeah, this is the second slate.
Yep.
So it's definitely one to keep your eye on. All right, what are you liking in this game?
Start on the visiting side. As bad as they looked. As bad as they looked. Matt Ryan, he's still only 5.6. Calvin Ridley is one of the best receivers in the game. But really the best player I'm kind of wanting to go back to is Kyle Pitts. He kind of let us down a little bit in a bad game, and his price went up, of course, on DraftKings.com.
So they're expecting something out of him this week. They think that Tampa defense isn't going to be able to stop a tight end.
I think his ownership kind of inflated that number to go up, but duly noted his price did go up. So when he kind of flails like that, it was a bad game for Atlanta out the gate. So go back to him, I think, here. It's not like Dallas did not move the ball against Tampa Bay.
Right. No, you're right, 100%. Yeah. But I think at the same time, Dallas is way more elite of an offense in comparison.
Definitely.
And I'm looking at this. Matt Ryan attempted 35 passes in this game and only got 164 yards, averaging 4.7 yards a pass. That's not good.
No.
That's beneath what we're used to with Matt Ryan.
We talked about him being 36 years old. He's not like he's Tom Brady at 44.
He's not spry like you're used to with Tom Brady. But at the same time, I would expect Matt Ryan to maintain his 300 yards per game type average, even in really bad efforts.
Yep. And Brady, they're going to be moving the ball so much that trash time is fantasy points.
It's true.
And Matt Ryan is the king of throwing from behind and getting those 300 yards.
It's like between him and Stat Padford, they seem to have a tendency of doing as Matt Stafford, if you caught that reference.
Which will change now. With a winner.
With a winner,
We'll get to him next.
Yeah, last year, Matt Ryan only had one game under 200 yards, and that was at home against Las Vegas in a win, in a blowout win.
Right.
Every game outside of that, the L's they were taking, they were all over 200 yards. I think his lowest 200-yard output was 224 against the Chargers in L.A.
So in that game, so for all those reasons, especially with being such big underdogs, I like to stick to the passing game. Mike Davis heavy used, but hard to trust a running back in that particular offense. So stick to the passing game on there. I know I mentioned Ridley and Pitts only, so if you building a lot of lineups, don't forget the Russell Gages of the world, but Ridley and Pitts, think bounce back pretty good this week. Probably won't get to Matt Ryan, but I'll take Ridley and Pitts though.
Yeah, I think Patterson's one to take and keep an eye on as well. He seems to be not the short yardage guy, but he's going to be a change of pace player.
Yep.
They seem to be integrating him heavily. He had 7 carries, while Mike Davis had 15. But I think the biggest problem with them is their run game is just. I mean, I like Mike Davis, but I don't like Mike Davis that much.
It's just never been. Atlanta's just never been a good fantasy gold mine for their running backs from a ceiling standpoint.
Who's that Freeman they had? Freeman put up some decent numbers.
He did. I've fallen for that Atlanta. I used to talk about this. My overly played team.
Yeah.
Because they play, we talked about the 8 games in the Dome, a game at the Saints, so a lot of friendly weather games for them. And
I consider them my Ike when it comes to betting on them. That's the team that always beats me around and makes me lose.
I'd be willing to say that they can cover that 12.5 point.
I don't know.
Trash time.
What does their defense look like? That's the question. We have to see, can their defense get even close to matching Tampa Bay?
I think that was the problem. As bad as Atlanta's defense was, wasn't the problem last week. and they couldn't score. They couldn't bounce back. Eventually he's gonna give it up. But
well, at a certain point though, if you have your defense on the field nonstop, the defense is gonna start faltering and giving up everything. And which I think going against Tampa Bay, that elite defense is gonna should do much better at slowing down Matt Ryan and making it, even though it would be a garbage time game.
That was Philly. They played.
Yeah, they played Philly, and Philly was able to get them at home. And Philadelphia's defense, especially their secondary, has been suspect for years.
We're going to get to that too. So, but this is enough on Atlanta. Tampa Bay. Go right back to the main suspect. I think you go with Brady. I think you go Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
A Brown. I think you go to him. He's the cheapest of his wide receiver core at $6K.
Really?
Evans is 6'1". Godwin is 6'6". We saw Evans kind of get bottled up a little bit. Maybe some matchup there. I think you can go back to Gronk at 4.7, but I think you can really interchange. I mean, they got the highest point total on the board at 32.3. If Atlanta makes it a game and closes that gap a little bit, that makes it a little bit more where Tampa stays a little bit competitive a little bit longer.
Right.
But if they're going to throw 3-4 touchdowns out the gate, it's Antonio Brown. It's Gronk. Play him.
And the bad part about this is, I mean, Brady threw the ball 50 times. He had 379 last week.
300 bonus.
He threw a couple
touchdowns.
picks.
He's land on
4 touchdowns, 2 picks.
The picks on DraftKings don't kill you that much.
Right. But my thing is even with the rain coming, it looks like this is a week to definitely sideline Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones.
Yes.
I can see one of them catching a touchdown pass as a check down.
Yeah.
But I don't see either one of them as having value this week against this Atlanta team, even though Tampa may run it more to kill the clock.
That is true. Play Gronk too. Just don't forget.
Play a lot of Gronk.
Don't forget him. But AJ Brown, I keep wanting to call him AJ Brown. Antonio Brown.
You may have a lot of Giovanni Bernard in this game, though. To be honest,
you might. But
because he caught 3, he had 3 targets last week. Yep. I can see them keeping him integrated, especially since Ronald Jones had that fumble last week, and Arians isn't big on guys when they fumble.
I think they look for any reason to not play Ronald Jones.
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like he's just always kind of the odd man out.
Yeah, just they bring in other guys, and then when they all get hurt, go back to Ronald Jones.
I mean, you got Leonard Fournette, and I'm surprised that they don't pound the rock with him as much. But at the same time, that Cowboys game, that was more of a shootout, and it was a lot more of a passing battle than it was.
Evans got the low target share of that game too. Again, week 1, don't overreact. Brady's a professional, but
I'm gonna maintain my mindset. I would sideline Fournette and Ronald Jones.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
That's just not the running backs you want to target. When you can pick any running back out here,
that's
20
true.
touches. That's not gonna happen in Tampa.
Also, last one for me: Tampa defense, always worth picking.
Yep. Oh yeah, especially against Matt Ryan. I mean,
he's gonna throw a pick or two.
Yeah.
Get them turnovers.